inside, see the light.
Welcome to the Center of Light with spiritual teacher, intuitive, musician, composer, and best-selling author of The Divine Principle, Anchoring Heaven on Earth, your host, Keith Anthony Blanchard.
Good evening, everyone. It's good to see you. How are you today? Welcome to Center of Light. Woo, boy, this cold has been trying to kick my pants, and I said, Cole, you better go away. So welcome, everybody. Let's see who's here real quick. I love acknowledging those who show up for the feed. One moment. Hello, Jerry McDaniel. Pri, John, Kelly, Christy Opp, Elwood, Karen, John Berthelot, Rena, Steve Cobb. Everyone, I want to give a friend of mine a plug. I met him recently when I was in Orlando, Florida doing a presentation. His name is, excuse me, man, this cold is like kicking me in my butt. Hello, Maria. His name is Jerry McDaniel. If you're interested in getting a reading from this very, very intuitive individual, he's in here. Jerry, feel free to drop your Facebook website link in my forum always. He gave me a reading when I was in Orlando, Florida, and he knew things intimately about me, personally about me. There's no way no one can know. So, Jerry, you're always welcome to drop your link to your work in here. So everyone meet Mr. Jerry McDaniel. Patrick Fortner. Jackie. Oh my gosh, I'm just still trying to get over this not feeling well. I don't want your sympathy. I don't even want your energy or your prayers. I'm just venting and finding stuff to talk about. No, not really. Tonight's presentation is, and the meek shall inherit the earth. Who are the meek? It's a really good question. How will I know if I'm one of those, the meek? How can I tell if I'm one of those? Something came to me a little earlier today. You could gauge, play with this idea now, don't take it out of context, with your meekness to the level that you are quiet. Shh. In public, shh. Also within yourself, shh. When you develop a quiet nature about you, all the fighting and all the noise just goes away. Noise in the mind, fighting in the world. Noise in the mind equals fighting in the world. Because that's how you're going to see the world, if there's noise in the mind dictating to you how things should be or shouldn't be. So forth and so on. So tonight what I decided I am going to do is I don't know how many of you people have followed my work so much so that I've offered up many times to go to Center of Light Radio's website and watch a movie I created 2 years ago called And the Meek Shall Inherit the Earth. If you have seen that movie, send me an exclamation point. Let me see what Christy Opp said. I haven't spoken with Christy in forever. Hey, Christy, happy holidays to you and yours, dear. If you have not seen And the Meek Shall Inherit the Earth, tonight we're going to do a view. Hello, Jamie. Happy holidays to you and Keith and everyone. Before we get down to the movie, share this to you all. In this room somewhere, depending if you're on a phone, PC, Mac, you'll see a group of links. One is a donate button for tour support. Also, my YouTube channel. Go to my channel. Please subscribe. Send me some thumbs up. Give me some comments on some of my interviews I've done with hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands of interviews from doctors, scientists, astrologers, astronomers, God-realized men from India. It would help my work to become even more visible. As of the first of the year, I am going to be doing a 12-week course, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul, but you must purchase this book because the teachings will come from this book. The book is $20, the course is $80. That is chicken scratch. For the level of spiritual technology I'm going to be pressing home to you. I'm going to hand you something. I'm going to hand you rocket fuel while you sit in a Cessna. Jerry, are you still here, sir? I really enjoyed my time meeting you, and I really enjoyed Orlando. I really liked it. But let me tell you what, buddy, what a long drive that is. Christmas Eve, I'm going to be doing a Christmas special about the life of Christ. It doesn't only apply to past. Talking about what is he doing right now? What is Jesus? Well, Jesus Christ, they are somewhat different. Don't take it out of context. They are somewhat different. Jesus was the personality. Christ was the oversoul that came into Jesus when he was baptized by John. Same Maitreya entered into the body of Buddha when Buddha sat under the Bodhi tree and declared, I am not leaving this spot till I become illuminated. The next morning when the Son, S-U-N, the Son of God, the Christ, consciousness, filled Buddha and he became enlightened. We're going to be talking about, in that presentation, the Christmas special, the past life of Christ. I want to know where he was for those 33 years. Some people may say, well, maybe we shouldn't ask those questions. I'm asking those questions. That's pretty important stuff. We're also going to be talking about Jesus/Christ's involvement with today's expansion. And also, I'm going to share with you a vision that Christ took me out of my body. It's probably to be 35 years ago, and brought me to the future and showed me metaphorically what is going to transpire. This is Christmas Eve. It's Christmas special called The Return of the Christ. World Religion Day, January 20th at the Caritas Village, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. in Memphis, Tennessee. So we're going to take one short pause. I'm going to play you a Lavender Soul song. My spiritual group comprised of Memphis Symphony Orchestra members. As you can see, this book and this CD cover are exactly alike. This is the soundtrack for the book. If you're interested in my 12-week course, I have to know now. Send me a message in this forum, or you can send me a personal Facebook inbox message and say, Keith, I would like to join your 12-week course. I will work with you if finances are a problem. I want you to take this course. I want you to take this course, but you have to want to take this course. Okay? Take a commercial break. We'll get, I can't even talk tonight. I'm on some medicine, so I'm kind of loopy. Welcome to Center of Light. Shortly, we're going to start the movie, And the Meek Shall Inherit the Earth. I woke up one morning and I said, God, what am I to do today? And I hear, Keith, make a movie. Make a movie? Are you serious? So I figured it out. My best attempt for playing around for a month, which will paint the picture of where we just come from as a species. Pretty much where we are. And what is to be expected, because we will, whoever those we are, whoever those weak, those meek we, this guy's one of them. And I hope you're jumping on board. Take a short pause. Going to be right back.
Trust that I will guide you in whatever you do. Just remember to breathe and do your very best to live in love, give in love, be in love, and love you shall receive.
All right, let's get down to the movie. And the meek shall inherit the earth. The prophecy realized. A lot of the dialogue from the movie is going to come from my bestseller, The Divine Principle, Anchoring Heaven on Earth. What you will experience in this movie, like I said before the break, is where we were / crossing the fence to being done with, hopefully, where we are, and the most likely potential for humanity's future. I cover a lot of ground. A lot of ground. You will learn that this movie has a cadence, an ongoing cadence. Follow that cadence. Get into the current. Whatever the stream is, you'll feel it's just like dancing to a song. Get into the current of my voice, get into the current of the dialogue, get into the current of the images, and you will take in a lot of information. The movie lasts just over 45 minutes. I have no doubt when the movie is over, that when we come back, I'm going to see who's all in the room. I'll dialogue with you in the room while we're going through the movie. If you have a question, maybe you could send me a message in the forum, and I'll answer as best I can. Enjoy this flick. We're living in the most amazing transformational time in history. Never has there been such an opportunity for humankind to ascend from the pit of its animalistic tendencies to the apex of its original nature as children of the Most High God. As a young boy, I had an insatiable appetite, an unquenchable curiosity about God, the universe, and my sole purpose for being on the earth. And it's been a lifelong pursuit to curb my hunger for answers to the 4 simple, basic questions that were gnawing at me. Throughout all of my soul searching, I am confident that I've come to the point the answers I've found are solid, balanced, and are in alignment with the highest good. You came from the ocean of divine energy, the universe, the stars. Humankind are the seeds of a loving creator planted on the earth. Our celestial nature and free will allows us to germinate, grow, sprout, and bloom until the season when we are able to unfold unto our highest order. I was told over and over in my daily meditations that there are 2 reasons for our birth on planet Earth. One is to live the best life possible. The other is to resolve any residual energy from a previous time. What will help the human race out of its self-induced karma, disillusionment, and trouble is to live a life filled with passion. The kind of passion that comes from one seeing their own worth, beauty, importance, and purpose. This is what will allow one to see the same light in others. If God is love, then it should make sense that when you do what you love, the river of life moves through you and puts you on a course to the bridge between heaven and earth. If we came from God and will one day consciously return, who are we now? If God is the beginning and the end, and we are in the middle of all that, who are we? If God is omnipresent, present in all places at all times, who are we? Point to yourself. Point to God. Can you see the connection? At our essence, this is the truth of who we are. I am aware that this kind of talk may cause some people to run away as fast as they can in fear. That is because they do not understand the laws of spirit nor the laws of physics. I am also aware that it can sometimes be tough to see your own greatness, but believe me, you are more than you even realize. Your passionate, sincere search for your own answers is what will bring you to this realization. What helped me to reach my epiphany was understanding the simple idea that God is the energy which connects everything together, and if we were separate from that, we could not exist. The choices are infinite, but if you ever want to get where you are truly desiring to go, you must first know where you come from, why you are here, and who you are. Only then will you be prepared to get where you are going. Living in a world with 7+ billion people, the human race has become mathematical masters in the art of division, subtraction, adding, and multiplying. A great and terrible problem has arisen and will continue to bear down on humanity if its collective consciousness continues to divide by class, race, religion, sex, sexual preference, and country. The social order of the world, in its view, has been a deadly poison, and if not purged from the collective body, will continue to weaken the infrastructure until humankind's existence collapses. Living in the illusion of them and they has no benefit whatsoever. The idea of being divided by nature is not based in spiritual truth, reality, nor scientific fact. In spirituality, the place where all things connect and originate is called God. Scientifically, it's called the unified field. Using the term unified, or unity rather, is evidence that even the scientific-minded understand the reality of an absolute oneness. Living with the mindset of mine or me, this belongs to me, or I wish I had more of that, is what creates a situation of lack. Jealousy of what others possess in the physical can only bring about more of the unwanted. It is equal to saying that if I can't have what I want, neither should they. This is the perfect recipe for endless failure of ever achieving abundance for the rest of one's life. There is no need to take away anything from anyone when God, or the unified field, is an infinite repository of all that exists and will exist forever. People who fill their lives with drama are constantly adding problems to themselves and the rest of mankind. For if one is infected with hate, anger, jealousy, and other useless nonsense, eventually, such erroneous ways of being begin to become a part of the world's collective drama. How is this so? Because as explained a moment ago, we are not divided by class, race, religion, sex, sexual preference, and country. We are one race expressing itself in many different forms. One will always affect the whole, same as the whole will always affect the one. Like rabbits on an assembly line, humans have been produced, pushed out into the world like the hottest new item on the market. Too many have not been taking responsibility for what can happen through the act of intercourse. One should take the inner course to find fulfillment instead of leaning on a system to satisfy one's earthly drive or needs. Division, subtraction, and multiplying. It doesn't add up to anything that is the common denominator among high-level civilizations throughout the universe.
It's a world whose heart cannot be broken.
It is common knowledge that when astronomers and other scientists look into deep space to study cosmic occurrences, they are witnessing the light from events that actually took place long ago. All their high-tech equipment might help prove some of their theories, but without inner vision, these experts will stay unaware of what is presently taking place throughout the universe. As long as they remain in a spiritually myopic state, they will not be able to harness the power that true cosmic knowledge can bring. On the other hand, spiritualists understand that light is the product of a pure, enlightened consciousness, and so they dedicate their lives to achieving just that. The more they develop themselves and begin to consciously connect to the omnipresent spirit, the more they are able to witness the grandeur of the universe here and now. In truth, light is everywhere at all times, or no time, should I say. Just like a hologram, the whole is inherent in every fragment of light throughout the entire cosmos. You might say that God cosmosis is taking place everywhere. Relativity. Definition. The quality or state of being relative, something that is relative. The state of being dependent for existence on, determined in nature, value, or quality by relation to something else. Theory of the relative, rather than the absolute. The interdependence of matter, time, and space, as developed by Albert Einstein in two separate theories. The theory includes the statement that motion is relative, not absolute. The velocity of light is constant. The mass of a body in motion varies with velocity. Space and time are interdependent and form a four-dimensional continuum. One of the greatest minds in all of history belonged to Albert Einstein. His mission when he was on Earth was to present his theory of relativity to the world, a theory that prepares you for an even greater truth to come. Since that day is here, I shall give you a new formula, an updated one that takes into consideration the shifting and reshifting that has taken place since his original one was proffered. Einstein's formula said that nothing can go faster than the speed of light. The theory of relativity. E equals mc squared, where E equals energy, m equals mass, c equals light. The new formula says that there is something faster than light, and that something is thought. The difference between these two theories? One states that slowly but surely linear time is depleting. The theory of reality, where E equals energy, lifting, m equals mass, manifesting energy, c equals light, omnipresent with no velocity. E equals mc pi over relativity, pi over 4. The pi over relativity correlates to the quickening that is now taking place. Relativity correlates directly to people, all the relative personified spirits who use the primal force of thought to create and define reality, whether it be with clarity, knowing, and intention, or with confusion, belief, opinions, and judgment. The pi over 4 represents the no time factor that diminishes the space between your thoughts and the manifestation of reality, the window between what you think and what happens. The number 4 in this case is the numerical symbol that signifies the power of the whole that will move within you and permeate your emotional body as intense feeling, thus guaranteeing the manifestation of the self. Thought. Definition. The act or process of thinking, reflection, meditation. The power of reasoning, intellect, imagination. Through physics, Einstein's theory of relativity revealed to the world its linear to vertical thought speed capacity. Now, as people become more aware that they are one, that very capacity will change exponentially. Let's talk a little more about math and how it's useful, its intended purpose, and its progression. Before someone is exposed to math's principles, their thought process proceeds more or less on a linear level. Once they learn its basic applications, more advanced modalities of vertical thought begin to emerge. Their mental capacity increases as they master algebra, geometry, trigonometry, and calculus. If they go on to study physics, quantum physics, and metaphysics, they come to understand much more about the universe and how it functions. But neither math's formulas nor its numbers are really that important. Math's real value lies in the expansion it brings to the minds of those who master it. Math offers a way for people to comprehend something higher than themselves. Still using basic math, let us look at the foundation a child operates from. The number 1 is the very first concept a child learns. The child discovers who he or she is as one and interacts with the world using that awareness. Yes, children understand the universal primordial number before math ever comes into play, because it is the very nature of the universe to operate from this premise. 0. Definition. Nothing. Figure 0. Point on a graduated instrument from which positive and negative quantities are reckoned. Now for the concept of 0. Among 0's many divine attributes are wholeness, balance, completion, union, and, last but not least, eternity. 0 is the highest idea there is, but it is not user-friendly, for it requires you to fully comprehend the idea of nothing or no thing, God. Notice I said idea, because 0 is just that, not a number, but a concept. And until a system is in place that enables the collective mind to expand into whole thought, understanding the divine will remain a challenge. As with 0, The number 1 is a formidable number to realize. If you do not understand the concept of 1, trying to comprehend numerical concepts such as millions, billions, and trillions would only be putting the cart before the horse. Just know that if you continue to break everything down into bits, you will always find yourself living in a world of multiplicity and separation. As we look to history, we learn of people who are now deemed to be great, but who were regarded as quacks, crazies, and troublemakers by the contemporaries during their time on earth. Is it not ironic how these prodigies were only accepted after their lifetimes? Just about everything of value we use in our modern world was gifted to us by these so-called weirdos: Jesus, Franklin, Tesla, Einstein, and others. Not only were these geniuses divinely inspired, but they understood the 0-1 principle, so they were able to make their great discoveries and thus better humanity. Albert Einstein said, "The most important decision we make is whether we believe we live in a friendly or a hostile universe." What is your answer? For myself, I live in a friendly one. Everywhere I go, I see beautiful people yearning for the same peace I have found, and for the rest of my life, I will continue to dive deep within myself for greater degrees of it. My home is in Memphis, Tennessee. Here it is believed by many to be a place filled with hate and racial tension. I don't see it. Is it because I am not plugging into the illusion that many are? The evidence of violence that can be found not only here where I live, but anywhere in the world for that matter, says that many haven't been making choices from the 0-1 principle of God or the unified field. These types of people are living in a disconnected reality, the reality of me, mine, them, and they. If you look at the cliche of me, myself, and I, you might recognize the me in this saying as what you'd think yourself to be: separate, alone, and detached. With this viewpoint, seeking self-gain is automatic. You don't have much choice in the matter, because such an attitude is never about the true you. It is about the ego and what it wants. You must be willing to toss that me of yours into love's purifying fires to ignite the flame of who you really are. You must not continue to let your ego steal from the self that you are in order to appease your mirage self. You must turn your selfishness into selflessness. We all must reverse the formula of me, myself, and I to I, myself, and me. First, see I as the totality of all things. Next, honor the higher self or highest good in everyone. Then accept everyone as they really are, facets of God or the unified field where all things connect and originate. I understand people's concerns surrounding extremist groups causing hateful acts in the world. Groups like ISIS and others from the Middle East have clutched people worldwide in a death grip so tight that they gasp for air every time it becomes a news media event. But let's not be in denial about how other radical groups are contributing to the same harm and problem, all in the name of religion or God. It is undeniable that they share the same mentality. Both have their holy word in one hand, all the while carrying a gun in the other. Can you see the picture being drawn here? If this mirroring view is not realized and continues, as George Santayana stated during his life, Those who do not learn history are doomed to repeat it. We must put the illogical mind aside and the guns down. As Pope John Paul II said, the worst of death and horror can never vanquish faith, hope, charity, and simple human decency. We will win with love, not guns. Evil always will devour itself. We all desire peace, but many believe it will come at the cost of others and their beliefs. How would you feel if you were asked to toss what is sacred to you in the trash so that others may feel some liberation? Not so pleasant a feeling, is it? The way is not about the exclusion of this and that, but rather the inclusion of this and that. This in no way implies that we should sit back and do nothing about the radicals from any walk of life who want to invade the peaceful. It means to live a life of openness to what is precious to others, to get out from under the deadly sin of pride that will always bind one's consciousness to ignorance from what others worldwide have to offer through the beauty of diversity. Christ Jesus was a prime example of supreme living during his time upon earth. By living a life of righteousness and peace, he was able to make a powerful impact and a profound difference. Some 2,000 years later, his life is still the standard. He is still the truth, the hope, the light, and the way. His teachings have inspired countless millions to live a pure and love-filled life, thus creating the energy needed for the whole world to shift. Jesus searched for God his entire early life, walking the land believing he was only a messenger. But as an adult, when he visited the Himalayan monasteries, he learned from the masters who lived there to seek God within himself. And he came to the realization that the external world was only a kaleidoscopic picture interpreted by his own mind. His pilgrimage was a great success in that it helped him to realize that he was no longer just a messenger of God, but was now the Son of God. When Jesus stood upon the hill and spoke to the multitude, the young teacher offered great wisdom, but few believed his words. In fact, many shouted, "Are you the Messiah? If you are truly the Messiah, then perform a miracle for us." Because of their doubt and fear, people did not realize that the miracle was already there in the form of Jesus. He was there to inform them about their own freedom, their divine nature, and the fact that, indeed, they were no different from him. Can you see how so many missed their window of opportunity to reach spiritual liberation because they doubted that he was the Christ? Jesus appeared to be an ordinary man like everyone else, but soon enough, no one could deny his extraordinary presence. Once people believed that he was who he said he was, why didn't they follow him then? Because soldiers using brute force if necessary were regularly deployed to bring to a halt all the rabble-rousing that seemed to happen wherever he went. But despite all adversity, Jesus pushed on to the very end. When that day came, Jesus accepted his death freely, thus showing those around him how such an event is not the end of life, but only a transition to another level of being, the infinite and immortal change of the Atma, the Spirit. For dust thou art, and unto dust shalt thou return. Genesis 3:19. In the centuries since Jesus' ascension, most have focused on his death instead of his life and his afterlife. People still seek him on the cross, but he is no longer there. As long as people continue to be bound to that image, they cannot begin to understand the crucifixion metaphor. If you want to be a true follower of Christ, You must take Jesus down from that old rugged cross and move on with your life. Do you not understand that the Lamb was sacrificed then for your liberation now? Let me ask you a question. Does the fact that most in his time doubted that he was the Christed one detract from the truth about the one called Jesus? There are many who already accept this 2,000-year-old truth, but know that the cycle of doubt versus truth is happening yet again. Yes, there are many who have inherited the heirloom of doubt from those who questioned Jesus on the hill. Their misgivings echo now as they did then. If you New Agers think you are messiahs with your I am God view, then perform a miracle for us, they say. I ask you, do you want to be one of those in Jesus' time regarded by future generations as one of history's doubters? Your answers matter not, for no amount of doubt can take away the validity of the messiahship appearing now to enlighten you about your freedom, power, and oneness with God. Swami, there's a lot of concern about the violence happening in the world. There are so many people dying, and it seems like it's at an accelerated rate. What is the correct way to see this? Is this mean-spirited people doing horrible things, taking the lives of innocent people early? Or is it karma resolving itself from a previous time?
This is a very good question. And today, seeing so much of suffering, violence, war, natural calamities, severe natural calamities like tsunami, earthquake, heavy snowfall, climate change. Every person is worrying and he is thinking about the solution. What is the solution for natural calamities? What is the solution of the violence happening in the world, in every country? In the name of religion, in the name of God, in the name of nation, in the name of this and that, man has become an animal, not animal, a ghost, and doing nuisance and nonsense, and creating the earth a hell. We have to make it a heaven. Lord is thinking, Lord is wanting a gift from us. We are all heirs of the Lord. You asked, what is the main reason for the violence? Think, being educated, being intelligent, the intellectuals, the leaders of the highest countries of the world, they have to think about it. Why these natural calamities are happening? Severe natural calamities. What is the main reason? Main reason for the natural calamities is imbalance among the 5 elements of the earth. Imbalance. And the earth, in the climate of the earth, atmosphere of the earth, 5 elements are there. Soil, water, fire, air, and space. If these 5 elements are in proper ratio, the earth will be in peaceful condition. If there is any imbalance among the 5 elements, one wants to dominate others and it leads to natural calamities. Suppose we want air, breeze, smooth, happy, little air breeze, but not hurricane. We want water to satisfy our thirst. For the crops also, cultivation also, we want water. But we don't want tsunami. If the water in the ocean comes like a tsunami, it will create destruction. So, in the same way, all the five elements. So there is a proper ratio and there is a limit. Why we are polluting the five elements? We are polluting. We are polluting the soil. We are polluting the water. We are polluting fire, air, space, everything. So it is the main reason for imbalance. We have to think about it. So even Pope also recently, 1 month before or a few days before, had a comet, world comet, Earth comet there. And they are thinking about how to solve the Earth from natural calamities. They are thinking, even the religious leaders are also thinking about it. So we should not leave it. We have to think. We should have conferences, international conferences about the climate change, natural calamities, and wars and destruction in the name of God also, religion also. No. Any religion wants to create destruction or war. Only love. To fill our heart with love, our mind with peace, and spread love and peace wherever you go. Then He will be satisfied. He will be satisfied. So in the name of religions, now in so many countries, so many places also, struggle is going on, fights are going on, wars are going on. I don't like this kind of wars or fighting. So love thy neighbor as thyself, Christ proclaimed. We have to love our neighbor as we love ourselves. Adi Shankaracharya also declared and proclaimed Ishvara Sarvabhutanam. That is, God is living in everybody, in every atom also. So we have to love each and every one. He did not say only Hindus, only Christians. No, we are calling the people who are following the preaching and teaching of Christ are called Christians. The people who are following the preachings and teachings of Buddha are called Buddhists. Mohammedan Muslims, Islam. So in the same way, all the religions are good. They are not bad. So we have to unite, and with unity we can bring peace to the world, and it is only the solution for your question. Unite. Fill your heart with love and spread love. Fill your mind with peace. Spread peace. Then we can make our mind peaceful, our home peaceful, our city peaceful, our county peaceful, our state peaceful, country peaceful, and the world also peaceful, universe also peaceful. We can make the whole universe peaceful. That is the gift we have to give to our Father, the omnipotent, omnipresent God.
From the choices humanity has been making and is making now, are we going to achieve a heaven on earth existence? And if so, when do you see that actually coming about?
Certainly, if we follow humanity, if we walk on the path of humanity, cent %, we will get peace and we will make the earth abode of the peace. No doubt at all. For every religion, humanity is the best. Take Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ preached humanity. Love, compassion, service, that is humanity. The base should be humanity. Buddha also preached humanity. Humanity and service, love, or the preachings and teachings of all prophets, religious leaders, not only religious leaders, even the leaders, ethic leaders also, that is, who does not believe the God also, they also believe and follow humanity. Through humanity, no doubt, we are getting peace and we will making the world abode of the peace.
I first learned about the presence of this avatar some years ago. After teaching a spiritual class, a friend of mine came up to me and we began to talk about some pictures that donned the wall. There were pictures of Jesus, Buddha, Gandhi, Mother Teresa, and the like. When we were almost done, I asked my friend who was that in the picture last in the lot. He proceeded to tell me that his name was Sathya Sai Baba and is known to do some pretty miraculous things, like manifest ash out of thin air. I was immediately intrigued. From that point, I began to read every book I could find on the life of this divine man. One night during sleep, I was visited by Baba, asking me to come to India to experience what he had for me. Although Baba's words in this dream were few, the impression spoke volumes. It was a feeling, a knowing, a premonition, a vision. How will I get there? Where will I get the money to be able to go? How do I put all this together? How long should I stay? I asked Baba. Keith, you have to learn to transcend your doubt and disbelief. If you come here just to put your feet on Indian soil, only to turn around and go home, this is what you should do, said Baba. I woke up that morning trying to figure out if my experience was meant for me to take literally or not. Back into my head I went. How do I go about making such a journey happen? Where will I get the money to do this? When should I go? How will I get there? Then it dawned on me. If God invited me to come to him, any logic would have no bearing whatsoever, and everything will unfold on its own. All I have to do is be aware of spirit moving and follow the signs that will begin to present themselves. 2 weeks passed as I constantly entertained the possibility that I might go to India and be in the presence of a holy man. Just when I thought my spirits couldn't get any higher, my telephone rang. Hello? I answered. Hi, Keith. My name is Debbie. We have a mutual friend by the name of Nadam. He told me that you were planning a trip to India, but was not sure how you were going to get there. So I felt compelled to call you and help you out, she told me. What do you mean? I asked. Keith, I am a flight attendant, and every year I am given buddy passes for my own personal use. But if I don't use them, I can't carry them over into the next semester. I thought you should have one for your trip to see your holy man, she said. I hit the floor. I cried, and cried with such immense joy that I called everyone I could think of to tell them of the miracle that had just taken place in my life. While I was in India to see Sai Baba, I saw more miracles in the 2 weeks I was there than most people will ever see in a lifetime. I was blessed to see and experience the divinity of this little 5'1" man. To see such a sight is to see grace as if gliding on water when he walked. Miracles upon miracles were not only around me, but happening within me. Creating ash, gold statues, and the spontaneous changing of weather, to name a few of the things that took place on the outside of me. But expansion, conscious elevation, and experiencing the universe is what took place, to name a few, within me. But the greatest miracle was to see people from all over the world, England, Iceland, Germany, France, Italy, China, Japan, Sweden, Russia, New Zealand, Australia, South America, South Africa, from every denomination, Hinduism, Judaism, Muslim, Buddhism, Christianity, and in every kind of profession, monks, clerks, priests, scientists, doctors, lawyers, waiters, truck drivers, government officials, housewives, all there to see the master that called them. Sai Baba incarnated before in the late 1800s in Shirdi, India. Then he was known as Sai Baba of Shirdi. His mission was to bring about secular integration between the Muslims and Hindus. He slept one night in a mosque and another in a temple. He wore the cloth of Muslims and ash on his forehead in the Hindu tradition. Baba achieved unity between these two faiths and brought peace to the region. The mission of Satya Sai Baba, Satya meaning truth, Sai meaning mother, and Baba, like in the Bible, Abba meaning father, was to help people see that God lives within each and every person. This avatar has bellowed the divine flame in millions of people worldwide. In the very near future, this same divine energy will incarnate again as Prema Sai. Prema meaning love, and again Sai meaning mother. This will be the final lesson for humankind that will teach not only does God exist in each and every person alone is God. The most powerful and amazing thing that one can have is an open mind, a mind ready to receive truth, no matter how it may show up. Without such readiness, grace will only pass on by and fall into the hearts of those who yearn for it. Your life is not a dress rehearsal. Grab hold of it by opening your mind, your heart, and your life to experience the glory that is your divine birthright. Fret not, let others be in their worry, for it is not your task to dwell on what others may think of you. Your life should always be in the aim of blissfulness. Pray, meditate, and treat all people with respect and kindness, for we are all brothers and sisters of the human race and in the family of oneness, God, or the unified field. May you completely withdraw from all the fighting that happens through racism, separation, and judgment. Spread the light, ease into bliss, for those who do are the meek, and they shall inherit the earth. How cool was that? It took us from what seems like a bad dream, the past, was a bad dream because we're creating all of it. And we're all waking up to where the movie got to a somewhat central point. And the awakening begins to happen. Our eyes are opening from our last night's sleep. We're coming to the room for the day. Kind of thing is what's happening. And all of a sudden, the God men enter the world stage. Yeshua, the liberator. Swamiji, the bringer of peace. Satya Sai Baba, the highest incarnation of God to ever step foot on this planet. It's the Godhead, is who he was. And he's coming back. He died in 2011. 8 years. That's about now. Sometime soon, things are going to be coming out. Just be aware. Something Swamiji, the bringer of peace, did say in the presentation. When I asked him the question when I was interviewing him, I asked him, is world peace going to happen? He said, absolutely. That just alleviated, if you're such a one to be able to hear this message, should alleviate your worry for the rest of your physical mortal life about the condition of the world. Hence, when I said last night in my presentation, what is happening? I'm looking for it, one moment. Is this. Everyone's moving vertical. Not everyone. Many people are moving vertical. They're getting into the current. They're moving on toward the plane of ever-ending and never-ending, ever-expanding bliss, while others are sitting on the plane of non-change. It's all done by choice. All of it. Swamiji did tell me in the last interview I'd done with him, he said that world peace meetings in the future, this is what he told me, it's going to happen because he told me, I know who he is. He knows who he is as to why I'm able to know who he is. And everyone who's ever experienced this 9th incarnation of God on this planet as Swamiji, the first God-realized soul to ever step foot on this planet, thousands upon many thousands of years ago. He's here. Again, Lord Datta, an aspect of the same divinity as Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, so forth and so on. This is not about earth. This is universal. This is cosmic. This is divine. He said world peace meetings are going to take place in the White House because America is considered the brain of the world. India is probably, or likely, and I think it's correct, is considered the heart of the world. And every part of the world has its own bodily, Christ body, Christ bodily function. He also said a few years ago, when I interviewed him, that the United States is going to sit down with North Korea in a shake hands deal to start bringing about the archetype, the icon, what is soon to come down the pike, which is peace, world peace. North Korea, my God, that was such a radical, not radical as far as moving about in the world and causing trouble. North Korea. They just wanted piss and vinegar. That's changing. You know, dude in power over there, he's changing. Something's happening. This movie that I made 2.5, whatever years ago, took me a month and a half. Sit down every day, work 4 or 5 hours, putting slides together, looking at the dialogue, grabbing images off of Google Images and seeing what fits the narrative and the best picture with the best quality. It took me some time, but I was diligent. But this movie does exemplify. I have no idea this was going to play out the way it did because this was 3 years ago when I did this movie. And now my presentations are about the prophecy YahNahVah, Soul said 6 months ago. And I brought forth recently, 2 or 3 2 videos ago, presentations ago. Last night was the big explosion of it all about immigrants to Mexican border, and now France, that is happening on a larger level, and how to get out of it, get out of the fight. When I showed you the graph, this movie is the overview of what I've been trying to express via Spirit about where we are. The chosen are those who choose to be chosen. They are called the chosen few because only few will answer the call. YahNahVah steps in, soul begins to speak. Keith goes to the side. He did not see this coming. He was going to pause. I'm going to use him while I got him. Soul steps forward. Roll call, dear ones. John Doe, are you here? Jill Doe, are you here? You either say here or present. Do we not? When we are in school, and dear ones, you are in the school of earth, and I'm calling you. Are you here and or present? Good, it's Christmas. Here's your present. In a nice little package with a beautiful little bow. From Spirit to you. Who are those fortunate meek? It is all of you when you choose to stop being weak. And it most comes out all wrong when you speak, does it not? The meek are those who likely become silent. Because in that shhness, there's no room for violence. And you know what I speak of, because it comes from a space of heart and a space of love. And the only way you will find yourself aloft and yet above is to stop. You may ask, what is it that I am to stop? Do you really need soul to explain that to you? Are you not impregnated with the fire and the consciousness and the wisdom called your conscience, that small voice that is ever so powerful? You have that faculty. You have that reasoning ability. Why are you not using it to its fullest capacity? Simply, it's no judgment. Just ask yourself, why am I? And it resounds within you. The answer just simply steps to the fore. See how easy that was? It's not a chore. It's simply a choice. And when you choose the highest choice, then you gain a voice as the vessel before you. And as many of you in here are now understanding and integrating yourselves, congratulate yourself. It's very well deserved. In the movie, soul is not going to say that you saw. In the movie that you experienced on levels you cannot possibly even understand in this moment. Nonetheless, you did take it all in. Take it all in with the eyes, with the ears, with the feeling base, with the capacity and the fullness of who you are. That great and amazing self that you call me. YahNahVah, the soul, is who you are. Sounded egoistic, didn't it? That's your folly, not Spirit's. Doesn't Spirit know exactly who it is? When you move around what you call your world with this level of confidence, suddenly your gloomy day gets brighter. Because you no longer require anyone else to make you feel lighter. You take up that cause in earnest, diligently upon yourself. Yourself. Everyone has a myself Who is this me? And that selfness. The words that surround self, there are many different variations or compounds. Selfish, self-full, self-doubt, self-realization, self-love, self-pity. With all of these different variations, shouldn't it have gone plural from self-one? After that, it should have been called selves. It's still the same self. The myriad forms of the same self that you choose differently as you divide and shatter what you call the wholeness. And the few ideas that you play with that follows self dash whatever word you insert and or choose, most importantly. Out of all of those that you can name, there are gazillions, in fact, infinite aspects of that same self that you are yet to experience. See, the way it all works is the Jesus that you know of that lived 2,000 years ago, you just hadn't experienced it yet. Your consciousness has not yet went into the body and the proximity of the one that you know as Jesus. And when you do, you will become illumined. Everyone has their turn to be Jesus. Everyone has their turn to be Keith. Everyone has their turn to be you. Infinitely over and 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 over. The game is played. The groundwork has already been laid. Did you make your bed this morning? Everyone has their turn to be everyone. And until then, nothing happens. In the form of your ultimate expansion into everything. For how else can it come about? How can you be the everything if you don't comprehend the everything? It takes a very long time. That which you call time because you're the one living in space. Time is the overlord of infinity. Paradoxically, wrap your heart around that. Time is the overlord in the observer of the time that does not exist. And the more you fall within yourself deeply, sincerely, and passionately, the conundrums will get greater. And that which you can't even possibly understand right now in this moment. Unless you're in a deep meditation where you get glimpses and little inklings of ideas of, oh my God, I somewhat understood something for a fleeting moment. And the conundrums and the riddles will get greater as you expand. Can't happen any other way, can it? Because there's always the aha of the answer that surfaces via your intention to go in with and seek via your question. So you get a glimpse, and the question is posed, whether you know you posed that question or not. But what was that? That's the question. And when the answer comes, you will begin to dwell in that expanded experience. And that expanded experience. And that expanded experience. Forever. You mean there's more work to do? There's never been any work to do. Never. Your only endeavor is to want deeper, greater expanded degrees of bliss. And when I use the word want, I don't mean this as a haunt you with the negative affirmation implying that I'm lacking something as to why I want. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. This is not what the word want means in this scenario. I yearn. I'm hungry. I want this. I deserve it. It belongs to me, and I don't see it right now. And I'm dropping myself into an intentional space of saying, I am worthy. Where is it? That's it. Over and over and over. Over and under, in and out, around and all about. Without a doubt. Now, no matter how much you are quiet, shh, or how much you shout, you will have a smile on your face, or either you will pout. The great divide is happening. The energies are separating. That is going to be your experience for quite a long time until you shift in a much larger way. But for now, it is purposeful for you to understand this as a division. But never lose the vision that things are holy and perfect in their dividing. It's just part of the dance, loved one. Simply, it's just part of the dance. Give yourself a chance to catch this 26,000-year-old window that is open. YahNahVah, because I am you, you are me, and together we are hoping that your consciousness may be released from your mind, not from your body, but from the opinions of the mind. And when you do, dear one, there you will find everything that you have been looking for. And it's nothing at all. Wow. I'm going to play a Lavender Soul piece of beautiful music. Thank you everyone for being here. I'm going to come back after this piece of music and I will take questions or look at your comments. Melanie, if you would, I just like picking on Melanie. Melanie, if you would, what Lavender Soul song would you like to hear, knowing what I have in my arsenal? Divine Lover, Choice, Angel of Love, Time for a Change? Good night, Carolyn. Thank you, precious. Merry Christmas. Melanie, what's it gonna be? Gonna be yo, dog. Hello, William. Steve Fish, Wendy Calais. Deborah Cook. George. So I'm taking my last Lousinger. Oh my God. Melanie wants Divine Lover. I'm going to play this song. I'll be right back before we close. Thank you. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Stick around. You got to feel the close of the program. You left open with the question. It's kind of like a cliffhanger. You got to know the answer, right? Good night, Maria. I love you. Happy holidays. Beautiful lady. All right, here is Center of Light Radio. Lavender Soul, Memphis Band.
I lay surprised at the simpleness of her soul. Wasting away in a sea of uncertainty, she had stayed with me for days. I needed love in so many different ways. And as I watched, she floated through the room, and as I cried, she was there to dry them too. Hold me and don't let go. Hold me, never leave. Never leave. Angel of love, will you always be with me, so I can let go? Reveal to me the beauty of your soul. I turned away, her light was so blinding, the energy of her love. She said goodbye and turned into a dove. As I watched, she floated through the room, and as I cried, she was there to dry them too. Hold me and don't let go. Hold me, never leave. Hold me and don't let go. Hold me, never leave. Never leave. She turned to me, told me life was not too easy unless you can let go. Reveal to me the beauty of your soul.
Remember that all things are possible. You must choose to be accountable, responsible, enough to believe, and open your heart to receive.
visualize. It's about what you choose. That's your real life. Choice, life's a choice. It's a choice. Your life is a choice. Choice, life's a choice. It's a choice. Your life is a choice. Now it's time for you to plan out your life. Seeing what you do by your own design. It's all up to you to make it what you can. It's of your own free will. What don't you understand? Choice, life's a choice. It's a choice. Your life is a choice. Choice, life's a choice. It's a choice. Your life is a choice. Choice, life's a choice. It's a choice. Your life is a choice. Choice, life's a choice. It's a choice. Make a choice.
Lavender Soul. If you're interested in this piece of music by my spiritual band comprised of Memphis Symphony Orchestra's players, Lavender Soul, Beautiful World, or my bestseller, The Divine Principle, Anchoring Heaven and Earth. This is the soundtrack to the book. You want to join my 12-week course, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul? Leave me a message in this forum. Keith, I'm interested in the course. Or send me a personal Facebook inbox. If you think heaven on earth is not happening, the question I pose to you, simply, Merry Christmas, I love you. Why can't you see it? Simply just ask yourself why.
सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा ओम गम गणपतये नमः ओम गम श्रीं लक्ष्मी गणपतये नमः गुरुमध्ये स्थितं विश्वं विश्वमध्ये स्थितो गुरुः गुरुर्विश्वं न चान्योऽस्ति तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः विश्वश्रीनिवास गुरुदत्तं विश्वश्रीनिवास गुरुदत्तं विश्वऋषीश्वर हृदयनिवासं विश्वऋषीश्वर हृदयनिवासं विश्वश्रीनिवास गुरुदत्तं अपुरूपं परमाद्भुतरूपं अपुरूपं परमाद्भुतरूपं अपुरूपं परमाद्भुतरूपं